Stephen A., I played that Michelle Beadle clip for one reason and one reason only. I'm old enough to remember being on that show and getting in trouble based on some comments you said about women and whether or not they should know their place when it comes to abuse or non-abuse. Ray Rice comes to mind. Not going to get into the details of all of that. But Beadle just came for you yet again, like she did when I worked at ESPN. I wonder, do you have that same smoke for her? That you have for Jasmine Crockett, that you have for Michelle Obama, that you sometimes display for me and Jamel Hill? Do you have that same smoke? I'm sick of it. Keep the same energy. And I call you and I root for you and I say, hey, I got your back, I'm happy for you. But you keep that same energy, sir, for everybody.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You just said, Cari, you called me, you root for me. Why would you root for somebody that called you out in Jamel Hill, who's your good friend? Because it's never happened. Never. I've shown you nothing but love. What are you talking about? You were hired at First Take in large part because of me. You stayed as long as you stayed and had the support of the people that supported you because of me. Do I need to get bosses to confirm that I'm telling the truth? You know I can. When we see the diverse people that come on First Take, black people, women, the list goes on and on. Who did that? That wasn't happening when Skip was there. That was me. What are you talking about? When have I spoken against you? When have I thrown shade against you? When did that happen? That is a lie. Me, dogging Cari Champion, when? And if I did it, why did you call me and root for me? What are you sick of? Or did you just want the attention?
Blah, blah, blah. Man, damn again. Make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's connect on Patreon. Early access, all access, full episodes. Those flows, story time, and Wileyisms. Support projecttransition.org below. Let's go. It feels like a family reunion right here. I work with all these people. Stephen A. Smith, obviously. Cari Champion hosted Sports Nation with her. Michelle Beadle hosted Sports Nation with her. But let's focus in on what Cari Champion is talking about. And there are two levels to it. One is the race play of Stephen A. Smith and the black women who are under more scrutiny than this white woman and Michelle Beadle who comes at you. And also the issue that everybody's dancing around, but they make mention of, is the Ray Rice situation. That incident sparked all of these emotions between Michelle Beadle and Stephen A. Smith and Cari Champion and Stephen A. Smith. We're gonna talk about that hypocrisy and the double standard of that. But first, let's get into the race play. Because it's right now being painted that Stephen A. Smith, you got some black woman hate. Who's saying that? Well, a black woman is suggesting that in Cari Champion. And the crazy part about that is the irony of Cari Champion, a black woman, saying Stephen A. Smith has black woman hate because he has criticism for black women, which everyone can get criticized, right? And the cost of praise is criticism. It's crazy ironic that she's the one saying it when he hired her to come to First Take ESPN from the tennis channel, right? And then she goes and she becomes the host of Sports Nation with me. And then I leave Sports Nation and she stays, and then she does Sports Center coast to coast, and then finally leaves ESPN. That's the timeline, right? But the timeline doesn't really go there. In between all of that was this Ray Rice incident. So the black woman hate part, I think, is pretty simple. It's kind of bad that we got to bait him into saying, you better talk about that white woman. Why? It's different levels of criticism because there's different levels of incident. Well, Jasmine Crockett, you went at her and he also apologized. Well, he just went at Michelle Beadle, and I don't think he's going to apologize to her. He let her talk about him for a decade or so. So I just don't think that that's fair and just to Stephen A. Smith. Now, the Jasmine Crockett incident and all the other ones you want to mention, that's one thing. Michelle Obama, that's one thing. He's into politics. That's what they do over there. But down to bring that and say, you better go at Michelle Beadle, what if he didn't feel like it? But obviously, he had time today. But let's talk about the real issue. The real issue is this Ray Rice thing. Because Ray Rice really set off a grenade in terms of ESPN with his co-workers, and it was split largely by gender. And Stephen A. Smith was the one bold enough to have the conversation, to make the statements that everyone has, everyone is thinking. He said that aloud. He said that for the world to hear. And you don't believe me? Oh, let's go through this. And this all starts really back with this tweet right here. Because Stephen A. Smith went on air, and Michelle Beadle says, so I was just forced to watch this morning's First Take. I'll never feel clean again. I'm now aware that I can provoke my own beating. And you get the mixed response, obviously, down below. Now, reading that, you realize, oh, there's some tension in the air. I'm going to give you a story that's going to really color that in, but I'm sitting here because this is not network TV. They were on network TV, so they got to talk in code, as you can see right there. But the point is, yes, if you believe in equal rights, full equal rights, and you also don't believe in all these unwritten rules, unwritten statements, yes, you can provoke your own beating if you believe in equal rights. But obviously there's a hypocrisy and double standard, so we don't really believe in equal rights. We've all been raised to men never hit a woman, right? I'm gonna give you a story and you're gonna understand what I'm talking about, the hypocrisy of that. And Dana White comes to mind because everyone points to Ray Rice, and then once again, because this is split by race, as Cari Champion wants him to go at Michelle Beadle like he goes at black women, people are like, well, why Dana White didn't get the same criticism, scrutiny, punishment as Ray Rice? Well, one, he was the one that was hit, not the one who did the hitting first, right? And there's a big difference when a woman attacks the man versus the man attacking the woman. There's details in that. We'll have some fun talking through it. Here's what happened. Stephen A. Smith, this is crazy. Peep this. What did he say? Well, here's some of the quotes. We know you have no business putting your hands on a woman. I don't know how many times I got to reiterate that. Is that harm? No. But you know, when you say that statement, you know he's going somewhere. This is what got Michelle Beadle upset, and this is why all of these incidents are occurring now, 10 years later. But what I've tried to employ the female members of my family is, let's make sure we don't do anything to provoke wrong actions. Okay, now you got to start to imagine, but you ain't got to go far in your imagination. In Ray Rice's case, he probably deserves more than a 2-game suspension. But at the same time, we also have to make sure that we learn as much as we can about elements of provocation. Not that there's real provocation, but the elements of provocation. Right there, not as articulate as he needed to be, but we get the gist. What is the purpose of language? To convey meaning. We know what you mean, even if you didn't say it in the best of language. And I don't think that's broached enough, is all I'm saying. No point of blame. Okay. Wait till y'all hear this story. It's about my childhood. Okay, so that obviously led to backlash. Michelle Beadle pouring gas on the fire. Stephen A. Smith sitting there like, didn't I just say what everybody is thinking? Didn't I try to really insert a nuanced conversation instead of, you can hit a woman? What did the woman do to him? And I think if I remember correctly, she spit on him, but never hit him, right? You guys remind me of that. Okay, so here we go. There was an apology that came after that, after he was suspended for a week. To say what I actually said was foolish is an understatement. To say I was wrong is obvious. My primary reason for doing so is my words came across that it is somehow a woman's fault. This was not my intent. The failure to clearly articulate something different lies squarely on my shoulders. Ding, 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 ding. Stephen A. Smith tried to have a real honest conversation. The ones that we're seeing now in independent media, new media, on the internet. He wanted to have that conversation you have at home, the water cooler conversation, the group text conversation on network TV, on ESPN. Can't do that. I learned that the hard way in all the conversations I've had. Like, they gonna come back at you and they suspended him for a week for that. But this is not a man-woman conversation, even though we have morphed it into that. Because I do believe in equal rights, right? And I don't believe in double standards. And I also am not going to be a hypocrite. So when we look at these situations, walk with me as I'm growing up and I'm witnessing this. A woman hitting a man, provocation. That woman being my mother, 6'1", 250, real numbers. Rest in peace, mama. My dad, still with us, 6'3", 180, okay? So basically we got a receiver and a linebacker. And I saw this multiple times where they got into arguments, words, verbal arguments, and then there was physical altercation, provoked by mama. Pow. Dad playing defensive lineman, just trying to get the hands away, trying to say, no, right? Put in that position, boxed in by his gender, being attacked by somebody that has more mass than him, at least. If not bigger, definitely more mass, right? And I'm sitting there like, wow. How do you make sense of this? Because the world at large is telling me that my dad can't hit her, so you can't provoke this situation. He didn't. But then also he's feeling trapped, like how much can I defend myself? Because of his gender. And I'm sitting there, I'm 8 or 11, whatever, a couple times I saw it, and I'm like, the hypocrisy. Like, you guys in this world at large are not talking about that situation, right? Dana White comes to mind. His wife hit him first. And then everybody wants to take it racial. Okay, you're going to take it gender, but the point is, who provoked that situation? And they've addressed it and dealt with it, whatever. But I still sat there as a youngster like, wow. And Stephen A. Smith, kudos to him for this. He wanted to have the conversation because he wanted to iron out the hypocrisy. Or at least make sure that everybody understood that they were really professing double standards. Or knowing that they were hypocritical. Or let's just make sure we have a full 360 conversation about this situation. Because I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather somebody come up to me and hit me than spit on me. Woo! Unnecessary roughness, I don't give a damn. We still at it, right? Spitting on me? Oh, if a dude spit on me, dog, oh, anyway. Now, in this situation, what they're really dealing with is Cari Champion is saying, look, Stephen A. Smith, you know what our real issue is. Let me address this and get out of here. The real issue with Cari Champion and Stephen A. Smith is not Ray Rice, even though that's one of them. It's not that he don't come at black women, white women like he does black women. That's another layer of it, but that's disguise. The real of it is, Cari has said this many a time. She felt unappreciated at ESPN. She felt handicapped, she said, at ESPN. She remembers wanting her job and auditioning and trying to get gigs, and she thought ESPN wanted a blonde, right? All those are words from Cari Champion before. And then you got this brother, Stephen A. Smith, who is the executive producer of the biggest show on ESPN, who we all know because he'll tell us all the time, he got all this power and he got all this flex. And somewhere in their relationship, Cari feels like, hey, and I know that Stephen A. tried to bring her back in or have the conversation or something, didn't work out. Point being, when I left in 2018 and they canceled Sports Nation after that, Stephen A. Smith has power and still has that power. And I think a lot of people put on Stephen A. Smith, hey, you're supposed to solve all issues, especially for the brothers and sisters. Shannon Sharp comes to mind. Oh, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon ain't there because you don't want him there. Don't try to hide behind your bosses and your pay grade, right? It's above my pay grade. You can't have it both ways. People are trying to hold him to the fire saying, you can't be executive producer and then saying this show is so diverse and I put all those people there. I put the women there. I put the black people there. I put the people of color there, et cetera, right? And then at the same time, well, then if you putting people there, you also not putting people there. So how much behind the scenes are you really rooting for me if I'm Cari Champion? That's the crux of the issue as I see it. Beat it up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about it. I told y'all this show was necessary. Y'all thought I was creating drama. I was like, oh, no. Oh, they're going to give us the content. Just wait. As soon as we press the issue of being honest, as soon as we started to say, okay, you are now condemning athletes and coaches and owners and organizations and teams, keep doing that. We're going to do it with you. We're going to give praise and criticism. Come on. That's normal sports. But sports media, I want y'all to take a look around. Because guess what we found? Y'all really ain't down with each other. So that's where it is. They're going to keep doing this because honesty is the conversation. The internet, independent media, this show, we ain't playing them games. We're going to talk about sports and we're going to talk about sports media because we're going to keep it 1,000. Wow. Beat it up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about it all. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we check in on your blood flow, boy. Are you guys using VINIA? Oh, my God, what are you guys doing? Let's keep it real, family. Energy isn't about sugar or caffeine. Nah, none of that fake stuff. It's about blood flowing. When your circulation's strong, the oxygen, the nutrients, they hit your muscles, your brain, and heart, and goes where it needs to go. What does that mean? More focus, more alert, and you are ready with more energy. So come on, go to VINIA.com/Marcellus. Use the discount code Marcellus10 for a 10% discount. Who's Marcellus? Me. You know your boy. 10-year NFL All-Pro baller. Had to go after it without VINIA, without this real product. Had to use that fake stuff, sugar and caffeine. Good thing is, it got me up there. Bad thing is, pow. Boy, would you crash sometimes in the middle of the game. So now, in the game of life, I have VINIA. You can too. So make sure you use VINIA in your daily routine. I don't care if you're a dad. I don't care if you're a coach or a chauffeur like me. All the above. You need this to be more focused, more alert, and it helps you be on the go. So go to VINIA.com/Marcellus. Marcellus10 for the discount code. And you will get 10% off. That's VINIA.com/Marcellus. You know what we do on this show, boy. Miss my mama. We blow, boy. Yes, it's got to be pretty. Love you, mama. I love the truth, too. God dang, why all these consequences and issues? We see the double standard. We hear the hypocrisy. Just trying to have a real conversation. Damn, you know what I mean? Women I've seen tear up a dude. I believe in equality. You know who else does? Yeah, sugar-free. Come on in here, pimpin'. You do? Okay, Cari said, where's that same energy, bruh? When Beetle came for you, you ain't say too much, huh? But when a black queen speak, you turn it up tough. Stephen A, keep that smoke, but you choosing who you dust. Cari hit the net with a message and a tone. Said, you was quiet when Beetle threw them stones, but let a sister talk real and you raise your pitch. Trying to cook me on air, boy? You sound like Skip, yeah. You were smooth when that white girl barked, but when I check the facts, you get loud, go dark. Whole world watching like a rerun show. Same energy trending, that's the headline, bro. She brought receipts from the Ray Rice days. Said back then I took hits for your wordplay craze. You was wildin' on set, I took heat too. Now you act brand new, like you never seen me, boo. Stephen A woke up and said, hold up, pause. I gave you that job, you should give me applause. I mean, I made your name, I built that space. Don't bite the hand that fed your face. Woo! He went full podcast, chest out loud. Cari should be thankful I put her in the crowd. But the fans online said, man, that's cap. She earned them stripes, don't rewrite the map. Oh, Twitter on fire, memes in the mix. Clips from First Take, they reloading them hits. YouTube real spinning, comments lit. Everybody picking sides on who's legit. Ooh, Cari cool with it, said, I just asked why. No hate, just truth, don't amplify a lie. I ain't bitter, I ain't trying to attack. Just wonder where that energy go when it's black. Damn, whole culture nodding like, yeah, that's a fact. Cause we see who got barked on and who got a pat. Ooh, it's deeper than talk shows, clicks, or clout. It's who you go hard on and who gets the out. Damn, Stephen A, man, they trying to come at you. Hey.
It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here.
Because I believe the verse.
It's time to hire hydrate. Hydration's the situation, so.